Showing so.
More and more people are coming to recreate outdoors every year. The National Park Service has 300 million people each year. If those people were to leave a trace of their visit.
Excuse me 1 second, I'm going to get out of full speed mode a second,
We're leaving such a
so I can do this.
on the land, the integrity of the wildlands is compromised.
But my responsibility, basically, is also to be a steward of the land and the places that I enjoy too.
It's a legacy we pass on, and each of us can take care of it no matter where we are.
It's an ethic or an attitude you have towards your surroundings and how you take care of it.
Part of it is having a passion for the wilderness and the backcountry.
It comes down to a very conscious effort of making good judgments and being aware of how you can individually minimize any potential impacts to the land. You came here because you know it's nice and you want it to be that way. Wouldn't it be nice for it to be that way for the next person?
Leave no trace is really sort of thinking about the future, not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow.
It's a chance to do my part to take care of the outdoors.
So now we're actually going to start going into the 7 principles. One of the things is there's 3 categories of increasing your awareness to your scouts. Number 1, getting one of your Boy Scouts to actually get trained, getting an adult to take the coursework, and then you can actually go to the next level, which is master training, which is then actually teaching courses. So the next part is the 7 principles.
These are all on that lnt.org website too, right?
Correct.
lnt.org has the courses and things like that.
Planning ahead and preparing is a really key part to leave no trace in the backcountry.
If you plan ahead and prepare, and you plan to minimize your impacts.
Even if you have a tremendous land ethic, if you fail to plan your trip properly, can force the most experienced person into making bad decisions.
Because what you do before you leave home will guarantee the success or failure of that particular trip.
Next one.
Okay, so I know we all plan our PLCs when we go out, but there's always one more thing that we could be really thinking about, right? So one of the things is, are we calling ahead for regulations? Can we do fires, right? What do I do with waste, right? Pack in, pack out usually, but is there some other thing that is possible? What do you do with human waste? Okay, depends on, are you backcountry, front country, those sort of things. Calling your land manager to find out these regulations are real important. Again, Roy's being prepared for weather, food preparations, all that stuff, but there's other things to be thinking about here, okay?
When
you're traveling in the backcountry, it's very important that you're aware of your surroundings and what you're hiking
Whether
on.
you're canoeing or backpacking or walking up a trail, you're gonna be interfacing with the ground, and that can have some trampling potential.
Vegetation in many of our areas is getting hammered.
Impacts in the outdoors are individual and they're cumulative.
It's not just their footprint, but it's the thousand of prints that will come after them.
We can have a lot of trampling effect where we camp. You know, we have where we cook, we have where we sleep, we have where we maybe put our backpacks. But in general, if we concentrate our use in those durable areas, we will leave no trace.
Okay, so when we're in a concentrated area, we're hiking on park trails and all that stuff, again, we're gonna be in single file. When we're in prestige land, we're gonna spread out. We wanna have as least amount of impact on the soft ground as possible. When camping, one of the things that we should be thinking about, especially if we're camping more than a day, is when we pull up the tents, what do you guys see underneath the tents? The ground is flat, right? So one of the things that they taught us is you should scrub the turf. Get the boys down and just take your fingers and get that grass to come back up. So it's gonna be less impact on that area where the tent was sitting there, okay?
I've noticed, for example, you go to Philmont and some of the trails are a foot lower than the surface because people have walked on them all the time. But around you, everything else is all still pristine, grass areas and prairies and things like that. So we walk on and use a very small, slender area and leave everything else looking as pristine as possible.
The ethic is, leave the area better than you found it.
Because it really challenges users to get out there and take everything out that they brought in. To draw the line and say, hey, I brought it, I'm gonna take it out with me. Because these wildlands are important enough to me, and I can't leave anything.
It was implausible to me almost that people would feel that it was okay to leave the trash there.
Human waste, what we do with it can be one of the biggest impacts that we can make out there. It's a social impact, it can be a disease impact, it can be a water quality impact. All too many of us have seen plenty of toilet paper spread around the backcountry and the stuff that goes with it.
So I think that's one of the biggest questions right there, our human waste. So what they recommend is 4 to 6 inches deep when you're digging a cat hole. However, it depends on the terrain and the altitude that you're at. And if you're above tree line, what do you got to do with it?
Back it out.
Got to pack it out, right? There's different ways to learn to pack things out. If you're below tree line, again, depending on how much organic soil, again, when you take a dump, it's got to be an organic soil to have the environment take care of it. If you're in the mineral, it'll stay there for a long time. So know the depth when you're burying, okay? Always take out your toilet paper, okay? You should always be having plastic baggies with you, okay? One of the things they recommend after you've dug the hole, did your job, packed it in, is you put a stick in it as a marker. Just one recommendation. Go ahead.